Hello, everyone. My name is Mad Scorpion, and welcome back to the Season of the Chosen trailer. We're going to be going over it real quick, and I'm just going to play it for you so you understand what is going on with this new trailer. If you wish to remain, spoiler free, just skip this video entirely because there will likely be spoilers.
The darkness crowds the edges of this system. The Hive serves it. You'll fall to one, if not the other. I propose an alliance. With my army and your light, the Cabal will crush the Hive. Bow.
No. Empress Keitel has emerged as the new face of their empire and demanded I pledge loyalty to her.
This tank is like a living thing. She breathes, she moves, and she will spit out your bones. I'll sharpen my gilded knife and see you both on the battlefield. There's no light here.
Alrighty, folks. So after going through that trailer, we can see there's a bit of differences. Here in the Cosmodrome, it seems like the Cabal have made their home in our Russian home. So I believe this is in the Moth Yards on the way to the last array. I always forget the name. But basically, the Cabal seem to be setting up shop here. And as we go through various moments, of course, there is the conversation we heard between Keitel, the daughter of Callus, and Zavala, suggesting an alliance between Cabal and Guardians in the last city. But of course, as Zavala is Zavala, and even though it would be a beneficial thing, he holds his pride, and he says no to Keitel. And of course, she has an issue with that, even though she was being diplomatic and suggesting an alliance. Of course, when we throw it down, there are gun sights on us. So, as we go through, we see a few pictures. I'm assuming this is a combination of both new weaponry and seasonal armor. But what's curious about this shot is that Titan in the middle. What is on his back? Because if I'm honest, it doesn't look like a rifle that we've ever seen before, or any sort of weapon we've seen before. It might be a bow, but at the same time, so far we haven't seen a bow, and it's definitely a cause for concern because he has it on his back. I don't know if this is a social space. He doesn't have a weapon drawn at all. It might be mid emote, who knows? But either way, there are some interesting looks. A little bit of look at the first set of armor, and of course, here's a better look at least the Warlock. We don't know if this is ornamented or just the armor in general, but of course, you can see that this Warlock is holding a guiding sight from Iron Banner. The Hunter is holding something that is not easy to tell in the distance, but of course the Titan looks like he's holding a either new scout or a new sniper so far. So continuing forward with bit by bit, of course we have up front, and that is another shot of the same group. The Warlock now also carrying what looks like a fusion rifle, maybe a linear fusion rifle, and the Titan holding a new bow. and still that thing on his back. You know what? Maybe that's a quiver. Maybe they finally introduced quivers to bows, visually. By the way, a better look at front, the armor. This is very menagerie-esque, very much Leviathan-based armor. Of course, that's not surprising, but of course, moving forward, we see shots of a new Land Roamer. For those that that weren't there, on Mars in Destiny 1, there was one of these for Brekazan? I think that was his name. No. No, that's the guy from the first. Valis to Arik. That's what his name. That's that guy. That old strike from Destiny 1. We all know it. We've stepped into a war with Cabal on Mars. We go into one of those. But this seems to be a new updated version for the Emperor. Or the Empress, excuse me. And of course, we see a few screenshots of people running through, fighting Cabal. And of course, it also says that it is a new strike where we are attacking the moving fortress. This is a first because we've never received a new strike without a new paid DLC of some sort. Anytime we've gotten strikes, it was Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Forsaken. It was one of the yearly DLCs or a paid DLC of some sort, like Osiris and Warmind. But this is a first because we're getting a strike that comes with a season. And moving forward as well, we see a few screenshots or a few images, various bosses, and then the next interesting thing, a new exotic weapon, which from visuals looks like a solar, what's it called? Solar, Cloud Strike. No, not Cloud Strike. Trinity Ghoul. And of course, there's one other interesting bit here that we can see. Hang on, let me see if I can scroll back a little bit. I'm working this on Xbox just because it's a little bit easier for the capture. Let's see. The boss drops down. Of course, I missed the shot for 3 arrows, but if you look at the gauntlet, that doesn't look like any standard piece of armor. That looks pretty exotic. So I think they already shown one, and I think in the back right, that's either the final boss or a midway boss for this new strike. Probably final, if I had to bet. And then, let's see, of course, draw some fire. More flashing. Oh, that's the same shot from before, but okay. You see what I mean? There we go. So a shot. We see 3 arrows lined up in the thing. So this is likely a fire-based Trinity Ghoul. I'm going to be honest. They could copy and paste Trinity Ghoul just with solar attributes, and I'd be perfectly fine. Because, we could use one of those bows. They did that with Thunderlord, and no one really complained. But, of course, going forward, strikes returning from the Cosmodrome. For those that know, we had 3 strikes in the Cosmodrome back in year 1. And it was Sepix Prime was the first. Then we got the Will of Crota with Dark Below. That was not Uriut. Omnigul. And then we got Saber 2 with Taken King. Now, those are 3 strikes. This is, of course, excluding Rise of Iron, year 3. Everything before Rise of Iron, all the strikes we're finally getting back in total. So we're getting updated versions of each. And of course, they show off a little bit of stasis against old bosses. And then, of course, the new activity, the Battlegrounds, which will likely be some sort of menagerie-esque escapade. But of course, we see brief little glimpses. We see people firing a new rocket, a new SMG of sorts, then pulling out a interesting new weapon, because that is a brand new Trials of Osiris hand cannon. So we are definitely getting new Trials of Osiris weapons for those that will be itching for it. And of course, then the bling, we get another shot. We saw a brief moment of the Shadow Price from that. And of course, looking forward, I don't know if this is a Temptations hook that just has a shader on it, if you can see on that Warlock, but there's some writing on it that makes it look a little different. And I'm sure, as you've seen with this little slow-mo, there's another shot of the Shadow Price, some weapon on somebody's back, another Titan, which looked to be wearing something that is new. But of course, then we get to this part, which is interesting because Keitel says, "I will see you on the battlefield," which is honestly a kind of first for Destiny, because with the exception of maybe Aramis, this was one of the first enemies that we could actually maybe attempt to reason with. Because, of course, we had an option to bow. Of course, it's bowing. We probably will never do that to anyone. And at the same time, she actually sees us as like a threat worth treating right. She didn't just forget about us and leave us in the past. She's actually confronting us, which will be a curious a story arc for this season going forward. So as well, then with the end, we get some flair, new emotes, new finishers, and a bunch of little blink and you'll miss it things. And we see a bunch of different things. But the most important thing that I think that came from this trailer is this. So this appears to be on the edge of everything, like the edge of the universe, maybe in the Dreaming City, out past those bounds. But of course, what is curious is what Osiris says. There is no light here. I'm wondering if this is the edge of the universe before the darkness. Because Keitel in this trailer as well says that the darkness is surrounding this universe. But, you know, that is a Cabal ship. I'm just curious how this goes. So that was a brief run through of the trailer. A hopefully short one. But aside from that, my name is Matt Scorpion. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something new, if you spotted something that I did not cover, a comment saying so would be much appreciated. And if you learned something new, a subscribe, a share, a like, whatever. If I showed you something you never saw, that would also be much appreciated. Aside from that, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.